Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Creators Outlet right here on the Outright Geekery Network. I just want to give a big shout out before we get into the book that is Tilt for our sponsor, SpinWiz Comics. SpinWiz Comics is a web and indie comic discovery platform. It's free to download on iOS and Android for the app, and you can read over 400 different free comics. Go check it out for yourself. Download it. Give them a 5-star review. We're trying to get up over 100 for this month. And right now, here's just a little look at what it could look like on your phone. And now, on with the show. Tonight, our special guests are Aaron and Joe, the writer and one of the artists on Tilt.
Yeah, that was inspiring music, man.
What's up, y'all?
What, the stripper one or the one for the app?
Both.
I think both were cool, but I think the stripper one was better.
I'll have to go with you. Before I ended up in a wheelchair, I spent 35 years DJing a strip club. So,
yeah.
Oh,
that is a life well spent, my friend.
Good
for you.
I am.
Bet you felt like you were never going to work.
It was great. I got to hang out with 50 girlfriends a night, and then kick them out the door when I was ready to leave.
Oh God.
So tell us all about Tilt.
Oh,
yeah.
Aaron, take it away.
Yeah, so Tilt is the second major character in the Catalyst Comics superhero universe. He's a fourth wall breaking, gritty character who was taken from his home when he was about 15. And he was put into training by the Council of Elders, who are a worldwide organization that's kind of bent on exploiting or exterminating hyper evos, which are people that display superpowers. So he became one of their top mercenaries, and he found the chance to escape about 15 years after he went in. And so now when we meet him in issue 1, he's escaped and he's homeless, living in Boston, and just trying to figure out his life. And we get to progress a little bit through his journey into who's hunting him, who's trying to take him out, and now we're on issue 3. So we've met the villain. So now he's trying to stalk the villain back. So we're leading up to that big old fight.
And why is he homeless in Boston?
Well, I mean, when he was taken when he was 15, he didn't really have much when he broke out of being a mercenary for the Council of Elders. So he just kind of found his way through the city and ends up in like a little warehouse. That's where he's holing up until he starts kind of hunting down the people that put him there. And, we get to see that journey of his as well.
Now,
One of the things that I love about Tilt is the main character, Patrick. He's kind of stuck emotionally and intellectually in the mind of this 15-year-old kid who was taken from his family. And all of the intervening years, he trained and he became a mercenary and an assassin for this evil, council. But he never did anything else. So when he gets back to Boston, you can hear it in his dialogue. You can hopefully see it in his expressions that he's still very much emotionally a young man, that he's basically this kid trapped in a man's body, not only a man, but a superhuman body.
Yeah.
So kind of like almost like a mentally disturbed Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but none of that, any of the lightning, none of the flashing back and forth. He's always that big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's just in his head, he's emotionally stunted.
Exactly. Yeah, he never got the chance to grow up, really.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of like every time my wife has called me a 12-year-old child. Yeah, pretty much like that.
I was going to say, sounds a lot like me.
Refused to grow up, did you?
Yeah, I'm a Toys R Us kid, and
Yeah, no doubt.
and you know, I was like mortified the other day. My daughter is 12, going on 13, and she just looks at me and goes, "Dad, how come you don't have a girlfriend?" I go, "Have you looked around Dad's apartment? It's full of action figures and comic books."
Oh man,
It takes a special woman to put up with
that's right.
us kind of guys.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm still hunting. Apparently, it was none of the approximately 5,000 girls I worked with over 30 times.
Oh yeah, you'll be hard pressed to find a stripper who's into comic books and stuff like that. The whole geekery of the world.
No, but it is easy to find one that will dress up like one for money.
Ah, yes. Hey, given the right circumstances, I might do that myself.
I thought about
that
it.
got awkward real fast.
Oh yeah, room got quiet really quick.
It happens.
The most I'll do is shave my head and be like the fat Professor X. I got the chair, so I figured, what the hell?
What the hell?
So, how did you guys all come together, and tell us about your production imprint too?
Yeah. So Catalyst Comics, we're still young. We just started printing the beginning of last year. So 2019, this first year we went into production with our first book, which is Paradigm. Right after that, we followed up with Tilt #1. So basically, I was talking to a bunch of people that are in the comic book world, and through mutual friends, I had heard about Joe, and then I saw some of his work, and we met through that and started working on Tilt. He kind of just jumped all in, so he's been with us for issues 1, 2, and 3, and we're kind of just building it as we go. And we have a few books under our belt now. We also have a horror comic that just came out in July, so we're just kind of building that kind of repertoire as well.
Now, does the horror comic take place in this universe too?
It does not. That is a separate imprint called Uprising.
Just you have a separate horror imprint.
Exactly.
Cool. Horror is huge. I can't imagine why in 2020 why horror would be huge, but it's been. Vault's done really well with it. Scout has had some enormous hits, and the list goes on from there. So, how many more books do you have in this current run of Tilt?
Yeah, so Tilt, this is the one that's up right now, is the newest one. That's issue 3. Issue 1 and 2 are still available, though. So 3 in Tilt's story. There's 1 in Paradigm. We're working on Paradigm #2 right now. And then there's a short story called Silhouette Shadow Games. And that's actually a prose, longer format, and no pictures. So people actually have to read the words. And there's I know, it's crazy. And then during this campaign, we just dropped another one called Fire by Night, and that's still in the superhero universe, but it's a medieval story with some superpowers.
Cool.
Yep.
So I want to take a look at the Kickstarter.
Okay.
So we'll bounce over here, and so you just hit goal.
Yep, yesterday. It's nice to see. I could look at this all day.
That means, yeah, I know, right? That means you have 15 days to go to unlock a whole bunch of different swag.
Exactly. Yeah, we started extremely strong. I think our first night overnight we did the first grand, and then we just kind of hit a wall, and it kind of stalled from there. But then it picked up a little bit and really picked up yesterday and kind of closed it into that goal. So now we get to look at those stretch goals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated yesterday looking at that number not climb. So I made a post declaring that someone has to push this over the top, and I'm offering a free commission to whoever that person is. And so Aaron informed me that that person had chosen the tier that included a commission from me. And so this person is actually going to get 2 commissions from me because, he was the one that pushed us over the top.
Well, that's huge right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah, because I just talked to Will from Silverline the other week because he was finishing up his launch, and they had so much original art plus sketch art and everything that one of the cover artists had actually donated to his project back when there was still these things called conventions.
Yeah.
So it was, and he still got like over half the art, but I think like in the last few days before his campaign wrapped, people jumped on and went nuts and was like, doing a buddy up system, and I think he blew out like a dozen pieces of art in like the last couple of days.
Nice. Yeah, it's a we thought it'd be a really good time to do a Kickstarter, but we're noticing a lot of our friends that have them going on right now, they all kind of hit a wall at the same time. So it's nice to see that bump to finally get over the top. Our original goal for this was 1,000. So we that was our original plan, but then we decided let's just do 1,500. So that's the most aggravating part, is that really we would have hit it the first night. But then we had already upped it to 15, so we had to kind of just wait and hope.
Wow. So, Aaron, you've created 4 Kickstarters and backed 40.
Yep.
So you have a few indie books not of your making in your collection, I take.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're very involved in the indie. Yeah, we're very involved in the indie community, and I think out of that 40, there's only one thing that's not an indie book, and it was some piece of technology, and I can't remember what it is anymore. But those are the things that I look at. But yeah, we try to support all of our friends and people we've met coming up in this little group. Like I said, we're still young, so we're still kind of meeting new people.
Still getting into it and seeing what's going on, and there seems to be more and more hey, what?
You broke it.
I broke it. Well, I finally was getting rid of some tabs I didn't need up, and I finally found that it jumped onto my YouTube channel as well, because right now we're live on the Outright Geekery Facebook page, the open page, which has got fast approaching 23K followers, as well as their YouTube channel and my YouTube channel. So
awesome.
There's that, and I can.
So Aaron, why don't you tell us about some of the tiers that are available, some of the swag that we can say that we're offering these fine people?
Yeah, man.
Here we go. Stretch goals.
Yeah, we could just jump right into that. So we wanted to do a little bit different of stuff, because there's the normal stuff, but we were like, Tilt was created to be that character that everybody falls in love with, and so far that's worked. That's pretty much exactly what's happened. I like to tell the story that when we were at our first Comic-Con, we had the poster up that had Tilt on it behind us, and the girl that was exhibiting across the aisle from us threw us a letter, and it was like crumbled up just like you would do in school. And so we opened it, and it said, I want Tilt to be my waifu, which I didn't know what it meant. I'm still not exactly sure, but apparently it's something along the lines of husband. So we know that now.
It's your fiction husband. You have your work wife or your work husband. A waifu is your fiction, your fandom husband or wife.
We learn something new every day. But
Glory
so
of
that
the
happens.
internet.
Yeah, and they
Well, we just learned a hell of a lot about her in a couple of seconds.
exactly,
Right?
man. So, Tilt, one of the things we do with him, he's a little bit of a beefcake character. We really get to play on that. And I took a lot of inspiration from like Tim Seeley's run on Nightwing. And in fact, I even took one of the panels we have in issue 3 and I emailed it over to him. And his response was like, dude, I'm all for mutual exploitation. So we thought that was pretty great. So we decided to do something fun for the first stretch goal. And it's that Tilt temporary tattoo. We don't see a lot of people doing those. So we were like, let's try it. So the co-owner of Catalyst, Matt Sotelo, he came up with that design, just a play on the classic heart design that people would get on their bicep with like mom written in it or whatever.
So you guys should probably get an extra one of those tattoos and give it to the girl that was across from you.
I still tag her and stuff, especially if it's a shirtless picture of Tilt. I make sure that she's tagged in it just so I know she sees it. And she always throws some kind of comment on it. So I don't even know her. I still don't really know her that well. That's all I remember and know of her was her throwing us letters across the aisle.
Well,
yeah.
You said he's a bit of a beefcake, and all I could hear in the back of my head was Carmen from South Park yelling, "Beefcake!"
Yeah. He's definitely a fun character, and I like being able to play on that side of stuff too. Like Joe had said, it kind of keeps in that 15-year-old boy mindset, and so he doesn't even really exactly realize what's going on, but it's still fun to mess with. So yeah, after that, we're gonna do some dog tags. We're not gonna put the design out so far, but once he's a mercenary, he probably had some dog tags. So we thought that would be a cool little thing for people to grab. And then we're just going to do an upgrade for the book at 3,000. It'd be that statue would be embossed, so it'd be a little bit raised off of the background, which I think would be super awesome.
That would be a killer cover.
Yeah. We play off of so Tilt very much plays on superhero tropes and just tropes in general. So just one of the fun things we did, like his second issue cover was the Vitruvian Man from Da Vinci, and then this one we did the Statue of David, but it's Tilt as the Statue of David. Just some fun stuff we like to do. It's more so for us, but it's funny.
Well, you're making it. You have to have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it makes a statement on who he is as a character too, because he doesn't take himself too seriously, and I think that's one of the fun things about him.
Yeah, if the creative team isn't having fun making it, then is it even worth doing?
Right.
Because that kind of fun, that kind of delight in doing something, it shows in the final product. I think you see it comes across.
If you guys aren't having fun making it, what makes you think somebody else is going to have fun reading it?
Exactly my point.
You have to be able to entertain yourselves while you're entertaining others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we get a sneak peek at some of the interior panels.
Yeah, this is so the first layer is some pages from Tilt 1, second layer is some pages from Tilt 2, and then the last one's a few of the pages from Tilt 3. So if you look at the far right, you can see a little bit of that beefcake.
Beefcake. You're gonna have me saying that for like 3 days now.
Hey man, get stuck in your head.
After the first issue came out, and Aaron told me that story about what happened at the convention, I decided, well, why not lean into that? If that's what's getting the interest, I'm gonna push it that way. And so in issue 2, there was a bit more of the beefcake, and in issue 3, even a little bit more of the beefcake. I keep finding ways to get him out of his shirt.
The ladies aren't going to be angry for it.
No,
I doubt it.
So this is the last book in this arc for this title, right?
No, there's going to be one more after this.
One more.
Yeah, this one's kind of leading right up to the edge of the the thing that sets Tilt off enough to finally make that connection with the villain. So issue 4, I can't even remember how many it was. I had told Joe before, it's something like 16 pages of fighting, I think, in that book. So I think he'll have a lot of fun with that.
Wow. I'm sure I will.
So my question that was coming out of that was, once this arc wraps up, are you looking at wrapping these all up into a trade?
You're darn straight. Absolutely, without a doubt. We're trying to be as proactive as possible with the things that we do, and there's 42 comic issues in the first story block for Catalyst Comics, and you say that to people, and they're just like, "That's a lot." But then you look at like what Marvel and DC do, and it's nothing. Like 42 issues, that's not even a year's worth of work for them. Of course, for indie, it's going to take a bit longer, but all this stuff is tied together, and it's all leading up to the crossover after that 42nd. But that's including 3 other hero titles as well. So for Tilt, after this first arc, yes, that's the next focus for him, is to get that first trade out, and then we'll move into the second story arc. But all this stuff it's all outlined and it's all ready to go. It's just a matter of making enough money to actually get it done.
Oh yeah. So I just wanted to leave it on the art and writing team right here. So we obviously have you and Joe, and then you have Ramon and Matt. How did you guys all get together?
Yeah, so back in the early days of Catalyst, I was working with another gentleman. It was someone that I had known for years, but he had some wife issues that got really freaking intense, and he ended up just disappearing off the face of the map. Matt, I had just met when all of this happened. So Matt, I met through a mutual. His name is Louis Small. He did like Vampirella and like a bunch of those books back in the 90s. But he's actually the guy that introduced Matt and I. And so Matt realized I was trying to actually do something more than just say that I'm writing a comic. And I realized he was trying to do something more than just saying he's trying to draw a comic. So we hooked up and did Paradigm #1. And I think before that was even done, I had asked my wife, I said, what do you think of asking Matt to be the co-owner of Catalyst with me? And she was all for it. So he came on as Catalyst co-owner. He does our main cover illustration and character development. And then he does his own books too. So he did that horror book, Welcome to Everville, and Paradigm is his other one. And so we met, did Paradigm. Then that's when Joe came in. And once we met Joe, Ramon had submitted to us his colors, and we were like, "That's ridiculous." So we got him on the book, and Ramon is just—he's good.
He's a phenomenal talent. Ramon is a killer colorist. He takes my lines and he takes it to another level.
For sure. But yeah, so we've all only been working together, I guess, not even 2 years. So about a year, a little over a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And there's a huge game plan in place.
There is. Joe knows a little bit of it. He knows the stuff we let him know.
Tiny little bit I know about Catalyst's plans, and color me impressed.
They tell you just enough, and
just enough to keep me hooked.
And then
maybe they know that the paycheck is not enough to keep me in one place, and so he keeps tantalizing me with these bits of storyline that really make me want to get the next script. It makes me want to get the next book. It's an amazing company, Catalyst is. So much so that I'm not a huge backer on Kickstarter. I don't back a lot of campaigns. But when they came out with Welcome to Everville, I was in. I had to see that book like before it came available to everybody else. I had to be a backer for them.
My man.
He goes, "Okay, you paid us. You can work for us now."
That's right. Yeah, we try to keep. That's why even one of the tiers that we have on there, it's a Joe mission, so people can get a commission from Joe, and Joe actually gets a cut off of that. We try to look out for the people we're working with, and we're building some more teams as well for the other content that we're trying to put out. So we approach it a little bit differently than some of the other publishers and creators that we've met, trying to make something a little bit bigger than just one series or what have you.
Now, with all the beefcake covers, have you guys done a Magic Mike cover yet? Or is that for the trade?
Yeah, there you go. We'll save it for the trade.
There's actually this one scene in issue number 3 that, well, you have to see the book to see the scene, but it definitely smacks of a little bit of Magic Mike.
Yep, for sure.
I know I follow Fluffy.
Oh yeah.
And he was in Magic Mike. Nobody saw him, but he was the DJ.
That's so great.
But he had there's a clip of him online talking about like a bunch of behind the scenes things for the movie. And it was hilarious because he started off and he's like, usually when you go to a call, I look like me and everybody else, looks like, young guys and whatever. But I walked into this and everybody in the lobby looked like me. And I'm like,
cattle call.
I go,
That's right.
It was realistic because that means, I could have been up for the part.
That's right.
But they went through this whole thing. It's hilarious. If you get a chance, might just give you some Magic Mike inspiration for that trade cover.
That's awesome, dude. I like it. Yeah, it's one of those things where it just worked out that way. Just people kept mentioning stuff about Tilt and how good he looked and stuff. And especially like a lot of the female fans that we've kind of built a little bit of a following on. So we leaned into it. That's
cover. That's Talon.
Yeah, that's the variant cover that we did. That's the main villain, Talon. So I can't even give it away. You got to read the book to know. I think it's a really cool integrated story though. But so what we did with his logo, I really dig because it's basically a perversion of Tilt's logo. And it's, kind of cross-ish, but it has the little fangs kind of dripping down on it. But he's a super cool character, very intimidating, and he's just a jerk.
The way he's got kind of like the red powder, like scaling off his head.
Yeah.
It just gives it like this uber intense look on the cover.
Yeah, that came out really good. Matt really likes digital painting and stuff like that. So when he does stuff like that, he's just, it comes out like that. It looks great.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Me too. Yeah, so this is getting into just stuff we put out. So that's the first 3 issues, Tilt up top, and then everything so far in the Catalyst Comics universe, except for that newest little novelette that I haven't added on there. That's the medieval one. I'll put that on there eventually. But then right under that is all of our titles. So that includes like the horror Welcome to Everville.
So Shadow Games was that was like the little novel, or
yeah, it's a 11,000 word short story. But it's integrated into the universe. So it's actually focused on Silhouette's one of the big 3 in our universe. And Shadow is going to be her arch nemesis. And so the story is actually told from his point of view. He's also a mercenary for the Council of Elders, and he gets sent to Charlotte, North Carolina to track her down. And then you kind of get to see what makes him become the villain. And that one's actually tied into, it's actually the first thing that ever even came out, because this is what I do while I'm waiting on art to get done, is I just write short stories. And so that came out before Paradigm came out, but it actually ties directly into Paradigm's second issue.
So this is basically is this a reading order at all? Like from left to right?
Yeah, I mean, right now, pretty much. Except for, of course, the horror book's not really part of it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the reading order because there's a lot of people that read Silhouette Shadow games that aren't even going to realize it until Paradigm 2 comes out, how tied in it is with certain events.
So Paradigm 1, Tilt 1 and 2, then Everville, Tilt 3, and Shadow Games.
There you go. That's about a year and a half worth of publishing, so we're doing okay.
T-shirts, trading card packs,
exactly,
mini prints, enamel pins, wristband,
all your classics.
So, Aaron, I'm a 3X for that T-shirt. Just letting you know.
I know, Joe. I know. So one of the things we do with Tilt being such a trope player, basically, if you look at those 3 trading cards, within the first 3 issues, we put them in 3 different super suits because that's one of the ongoing tropes in comics is that, heroes change their suits too much. So within the first 2, we put them in all 3 of those. One of them's just a T-shirt that he, crudely put his logo on and just wear some jeans and no shoes because he doesn't like shoes. The second one was a white suit, but that doesn't work for him because he beats the crap out of people. So then he ends up just getting blood all over it. Yeah, it's too much blood. So that doesn't look smooth. So he went with blue, and that'll be his ongoing suit until something crazy happens whenever we get there.
So, and until at least next issue, he's going to be wearing a blue.
It'll be for a while. This is more like a 5-10 year plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's this 10-year plan?
Last through this arc.
I'm just looking at the T-shirt. After Joe goes 3X, and I'm like, oh man, how many years ago did I actually fit in a 3X?
So that's one of our tiers.
This could be you.
It could be. You could be getting punched in the face by Tilt himself. That's something we're doing for the 4th issue, which we're due to get out in early 2021. I think there's 3 of those tiers left. You basically get everything on the campaign, plus you get drawn into issue 4, getting beat up by Tilt. There are 6 spots for people, and 3 of them are gone.
I'm really looking forward to this. There are people who are basically asking me to use them as, tags. So I'm just going to go to town on these guys.
That's right.
I would, but it would be too much of a childhood flashback.
You got beat up by a superhero?
That's all reference. It's all reference.
Oh, okay. Oh,
that's
yeah.
Right.
I got beat up a lot as a kid, and then one day.
So I know how a punch connects.
Yeah,
because I punched quite a bit.
Boy, don't I! And then one day I snapped and I tattooed some kid's face with his locker. And
oh my god!
I turned into One Punch Man, and
there's always that one day, man, where it's finally done.
And then they're
all one day away from being that guy, huh?
That's right. One bad day. So that we just added yesterday. Probably should have had it at the beginning of the campaign, but I don't feel like talking about
this was
retailers.
a great idea.
It was a great idea.
Yeah, this was a great idea.
But yeah, for retail friends, they can get 5 of 1, 2, and 3, which means you can pretty much sell them all together. Just 5 different customers. Be like, oh, you can catch up with the whole thing.
Yeah,
it really pushes past one of the biggest hurdles for an indie title. There are so many people that go into a comic shop or they look online and they see a new title, number 1. Yeah, okay, and they scroll right past, thinking, what are the chances of it getting a number 2? What are the chances of me reading the rest of this story? So a lot of people leave number 1s alone. So putting numbers 1, 2, and 3 on a shelf side by side of a new indie title, I think that really increases the chances of people being interested exponentially.
Yep.
Well, you guys probably know them already, but I know two pretty sizable stores that are huge on indies.
Then I probably don't know them.
Oh, yeah. Check into the Collective in Florida.
I've heard of it.
And I
think a bunch of our friends publish or have books there.
Yeah, I think so.
Just the other week, she got all her Voodoo Nations in, like, every single cover.
Okay. Yeah, that's Travis.
Collective had theirs up there, and when they get new indies in, they feature them right up at the front of the store.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Where they should be.
Where all new titles should be.
Yeah, Jen over at
Exactly.
Space Cadet, she gets them in, and she's part of the Comic Book Shopping Network.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right.
There's 10 stores that make up the Comic Book Shopping Network, and basically all they do, they've all got their own slots, and all they do is run live comic book sales 24 hours a day.
Right.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting this in my phone.
I joined and then kicked myself in the butt because I know one of the guys, and I actually interviewed him because CBSN got a deal with Scout Comics, so they get their own variant for every single #1 from Scout that comes out.
Really? That's a lot of variant covers.
Yeah. It is.
JJ's store out in Arizona, because he's the show that I go by, except because he's in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's way past my bedtime now that I'm 50, so it's killing me. He comes on between, 10:30 and midnight, and then he's on for like 2.5 to 3 hours. And I mean, it's like crack. Like every night I have, and for like a month and a half, I've been paying a daily invoice. I'm like, I haven't seen any of it yet because he's got JJ has a Build-A-Box thing you can do.
Yeah.
So you fill a short box of comics, and then he ships you that full short box of comics for $15.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that.
That's a good idea.
So, I'm going to be excited when I get this because,
for sure.
Yeah, throw a link into the chat. Throw a link into the chat so I can find that later.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, let me.
That sounds addictive.
I just got to jump over to Facebook and.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's a good way to approach business right now.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, we have a few.
Way to avoid. What was that?
We have a few retail friends, and I know Joe's excited about the newest cover. But there's one retail friend that we have that the first book they got 50 of, the second one they got 150, and then this one they're planning on doing 100 right now. And it's going to be an homage to Punisher's first appearance for their
amazing 129
again. Well, at least it's not 300.
Well, yeah, but it's Tilt and Talon, so we can do what we want.
Yeah, it all works out. There's the thing. You go to that page and you have to.
Oh yeah, okay.
You have to do something on the page and get invited, and you got to answer like 3 questions or something. And then you're in, and then you're just going to see round the clock things. Actually, one of the stores that's involved with this is Brian Polito's Coffin Comics. They've got like their own show.
That sounds about right.
So it's like 3 hours of Lady Death every day.
Oh god, it's a lot of Lady Death.
But Space
really sexy woman in a black bikini and a huge sword. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I can deal with that.
Babe, I'm just watching them sell comics.
That's it. Honey, look, it's comic books.
That's right.
There's a bunch of stores in here. Jesse James, who's JJ out in Arizona. Space Cadets, which is Jen's store, and Space Cadets in Jesse James were the two stores that they got together, and they're the ones that spearheaded this whole thing to make the CBSN. A comic shop is part of this. Rupp's Comics is part of it, and they're a big one. Third Eye Comics, the Nexus. There's like at least a dozen in there now.
Do they have any of the big stores in New York? Midtown, Jim Henley's Universe?
No,
not yet.
These are every store that's in here is an independent comic store.
Gotcha. They don't carry the big two at all?
A couple of them do. JJ carries them very little, like sparsity, but if you pre-order everything from them, you get on you get like a pull list.
Yeah.
You'll be down like on a pre-order thing for everything. Like I pre-ordered all the Bad Idea books from them because they're one of the Jen is one of the retailers that got picked like out of 30 nationwide to be able to sell their books.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Sweet. I'm be looking into that.
So yeah, definitely check them out because, like I said, Space Cadets is like a huge indie comic supporter, and the Collective down in Florida is like insane with indie comics. It's like back in the 90s, if you had a comic shop by like a college, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had a comic shop in the 90s.
And was it by like a college campus?
It was in New York City, so everything's kind of by like a college campus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were comic shops literally on every block. I had competition across the street and one block over. I had competition in the other direction a couple of blocks over. In my neighborhood alone, there were probably a couple dozen comic book shops in the 90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The same thing that made us killed us.
And what made you in the 90s? Cover gimmicks?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was getting the masses interested by instituting the gimmicks, the foil covers, the variant covers. It got to be so much, especially from the big two, that we would have to double, even triple up on orders just to have all the variants. And Diamond at the time allocated you based on your order history.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if I ordered 250 issues of a particular title, and then I wanted the variants, so I'd order 50 of the variants, they would allocate me because I didn't order so much in previous orders. So instead of the 50, I'd get 20.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, they were horrible.
They still are. I know. I know all about their dirty tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The comic shop that I've been going to for 35 years, I've worked in part-time for almost all of that 35 years.
Then you've seen a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
Fuck it.
All right, good. I like that.
Yeah, because not just the allocations, but one of their dirty tricks, which they used to like doing, especially like in the 90s and early 2000s, where like we would desperately need supplies. We would need like a couple of cases of long and short boxes and like 3 or 4 cases of bags and boards.
I remember this.
Just for the store. Not to mention like 200 or 300 customers that are like,
yeah,
all of a sudden realize after their wives scream at them for 3 hours that they haven't bagged and boarded a book in like 3 months. So they all need like, massive amounts of supplies. Case in point, I just got a long box, and 2 sets of bags and boards yesterday. So, and we would order them, like we would over order them because, yet again, allocation. And then there would be like, they'd send a BS form letter. Oh, we're sorry. We're completely out of comic supplies at this time.
Right. I remember getting those notices.
And they were completely out because they had a backdoor take it in the pooper deal with Next Planet Over. So they couldn't sell bags and boards because they had a contract with Next Planet Over to hold thousands of pieces of merch with the supplies, anything. Hold it for them in case they needed it for an order.
And Next Planet Over, they charged, if they did sell anything to the general public, meaning the shops in your neighborhood, in your city, they charged more than what Diamond was charging. I remember getting the notices that Diamond wasn't sending me any kind of supplies. I remember a drive down to Cape May to get the closest one at the price that I wanted. So I took a weekend, went down to Cape May, and came back with all the supplies I needed. But still, it was horrible in the 90s. What destroyed us all were the print runs.
Oh, yeah. But on the plus side now, not that they're, not that anybody's paying actual money for them, but there are people now that were growing up in the 90s that, their parents threw away their comics when they went off to college or whatever. But now they're in their mid to late 20s or 30s, and like, they're thinking about getting back into comics, that they would at least like to get the stuff that made them
they had.
Yeah, the stuff that, because, I'm around buying, 70s and 80s action figures and, Silver and Bronze Age comics. And, they're buying 90s comics. Who's getting screwed here? They can buy a whole box of 90s comics for like $30.
Yep.
Right.
And, I can buy maybe one beat to crap Batman from 1972 for $30.
If you're lucky.
That's
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I lucked out and got a nice one, but I'm selling some of my stuff because, I'm broke. It's tough living on SSI.
Welcome to the world.
Oh, I know. So any other comic or short story is $5. Is that print or PDF?
That is print.
Wow.
I know, we're crazy. We're just
Catalyst does the
crazy
best
guys.
prices. They do the best prices on these campaigns. I mean, every campaign they've done so far has always offered multiple issues. And in this one is no different. This campaign for Tilt 3, they're offering issues 1, 2, and 3. Now, you can either go the PDF route and get all 3 issues digitally for, how much is that tier again, Aaron?
I think it's like, I think you can get all 3 tilts PDF for like $8.
Wow.
$8. Who else is offering a campaign like that, where you can get 3 issues of the featured character, of the title character, for $8? That's nuts.
I'm having a RoboCop flashback.
I do that for $1.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're getting one of the tiers anyway, then we can just add on one of the other copies. So
absolutely,
$20 T-shirt with the design on it.
Yep. Most would do 25.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to convince him to do just a plain T-shirt for $20, but he said nobody would be into that.
That's right. Just a plain black Hanes T-shirt.
Yeah, out of the package, thrown in an envelope, sent out to you.
That's right.
How are we going to do that? Well, for $20, we can buy 5 at Walmart.
Exactly.
We can even get Joe a 3X.
That's right. It's a make your own Tilt T-shirt.
Oh yeah. And here's a blue and gray Sharpie. Draw it yourself.
Exactly.
Little enamel pin for $10, wristband for $5. I like the wristbands, but my wrists are way too big to wear these things. It's like, I got bad circulation already. So trading cards. So there's three of it's 3 trading cards. So you get all 3 for $5.
Yep.
And you get the variant for 15, and you can get the mini print of the cover for 5.
Yeah. So the variant we did 15 because we would rather people go look at those other tiers, like actual reward tiers, instead of just adding it on. However, we were able to beta test into the whole add-on feature that Kickstarter has now. Mm-hmm. So people can kind of build their own packages now, which is pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, why Kickstarter and not Indiegogo?
I'm going to be honest. We've been asking ourselves that a lot the last few days. Really, it's because we already had a following on Kickstarter from back when we did Paradigm. And we've just been building on that. But to be completely, perfectly honest, when we do the trade, it will be Indiegogo. And then we're thinking about putting Welcome to Everville over on Indiegogo in January. Because it did so well on Kickstarter, we're just curious. And we thought that'd be a good test book. It's already printed. We already have them in stock. Let's just throw it on Indiegogo, see what happens. But yeah, the trade for Tilt will be on Indiegogo. And then we may start doing more on Indiegogo because superhero books are difficult on Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah. Especially because even if you fund in a day, but it's not their type of book. And I've heard this book from like 12.5 creators. If it's not a book that they feel is worthy, they bypass their own rules from, if you fund in 24 hours, you're going to get featured.
Oh yeah, that's a load of crap.
Yeah, of course it is.
We've funded in a day like a couple times now, and it's just a load of crap. and then you're playing against the algorithms for your whole campaign. Mm-hmm. Like I said, that's why I think next year we're just going to start testing the waters because we need to build that market over on Indiegogo as well. But yeah, we have no brand loyalty to either side. It's just a matter of, we're doing this as a business, so whatever works.
I hear, a lot of people just go straight for Kickstarter because it's the big name.
Right. But it's so much more about where your audience is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the reasons people don't like when Matt and I get too honest about stuff, because we do a podcast that's all about behind the scenes stuff. And we talk about these kind of experiences. One of the things that I am super proud of on this campaign so far is that we have 44 backers and only one of them is a $1 backer. And that was like the creative backer kit or whatever, like Kickstarter's internal thing. Everything else has been an actual backer that gave more than $1. And I'm proud of that because you see a lot of these campaigns that'll jump in and they'll have like 95 backers in a day, but then they've only done like, $700 something. And that's why.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people showing support, but not actually wanting the product. Exactly.
We'd rather have a solid group that wants the product. And even when you look at the numbers on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, for people at our level, none of us are hitting the numbers that we want to hit. 44 people, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket of the people that ingest comic books. So we try to be as forward thinking as possible. What's next? Like what's next for us to get beyond just our crowd that's seen it and that knows our stuff, and start hitting those other people that haven't seen our stuff and that can experience it. So anytime we see someone that jumps on our Kickstarter and it's like first time backing, that's super exciting for us. And it's happened a lot every time we've done a campaign so far.
Now, this is what I've seen, because I'm fast approaching 50 shows, and I think only a third of those shows were industry pro guys, big, bigger name people. And so for the most part, because, OG is a huge supporter of indie comics. And what I've seen guys like you on Kickstarter. Then I've seen the other half with guys on Indiegogo. And then I've seen the people that do Kickstarter, and then they follow it up by either doing a short Indiegogo or a full Indiegogo, depending on, what they feel will, be best for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the people that are straight Indiegogo, the creators get more of the money.
Right.
And after the campaign has wrapped, they let you keep that page up for 30 days as a storefront, so people can just go there and buy the product afterwards. But
that's a great idea. Yeah, I love that.
It's something that Kickstarter. It's funny because we just wrapped up a campaign back in July, and at the end of the campaign, they sent me a questionnaire to fill out, and almost every single question on there was in line with what Indiegogo is already doing. It was things like, should we have a separate add-on section? And should we enable you to have a in-demand? I'm sure they didn't call it in-demand because that's an Indiegogo thing, but a storefront page. And it was about 10 questions that were all directly linked to things that Indiegogo already does. So I think they realize they're missing that kind of stuff, and so they're starting to move toward that, which is great. But again, it's so much more about where your audience is. Mm-hmm. And for us, we've noticed a lot of superhero books. I'm not saying that we're the best at all, but I'm saying we've seen a lot of superhero books on Indiegogo that maybe aren't that great, that have done much better than even we're doing now on Kickstarter. And so it looks like a lot of that audience is over there. I still think there's a very strong horror audience on Kickstarter. So that's why we wanted to test the waters and throw it on Indiegogo, and just, if I'll use both of them for different projects, if I can figure out which one has the better integrated network for that particular project.
And there is a third one. It's in beta. I haven't spoken to them because some shady shit went on that didn't really involve them. It was, I don't want to get into it. But there is a third one that just started up. Mindy Wheeler, the artist, and her husband Mike started up one that is just for comic books called indiecrowdfund.com.
Oh, I did a video for them.
Yeah, Joe did a video for them.
Oh.
So yeah, they're awesome. I think it's a great idea. And when they finally launch this and get it recognized, I think it's a wonderful way for indie creators like Aaron and myself to reach out to the small shop owners.
Right. I guess I haven't followed up in a while, but I thought they had stopped. I thought they were going to revamp everything.
Oh, even if they stop to revamp everything, the idea is valid. I think.
Well, I know they had done a soft launch, and they had some projects on there, but I know there's a bunch of stuff right off the bat that was with the payment method because Swipe wouldn't let them use it. And
he mentioned that there was an issue with that.
Yes, Swipe was basically doing this. We do this for this one, but they're a huge account. We make millions off of them a day.
Exactly. Right.
And yeah, I know you've been using us for 7 years, but
Yeah, see, I would be all for if it was just for retailers to order indie comic books. That would be a fantastic storefront, or not storefront, but a fantastic thing just directly for retailers, especially if they're cool with you using the other ones still too.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had a chance to talk to. I've invited Mindy and Mike on the podcast numerous times. they're like, which podcast are you?
Dude, I host a podcast too. I know exactly what you're what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I know. It's like yeah, I know
Who
it's
are you?
2020, and every schmuck has a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's nothing else to do. Let's see, sex with the wife or a podcast? Wow, I'm going to go a podcast.
Depends on what time of the day it is.
It depends what time of the month it is, too.
That's true.
But either way, I know that you don't actually have to crowdfund through them, but you can still put up your campaign so the stores can see it, and then you deal privately with the stores and do a deal, because none of the stores are going to want any of the swag.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That
was the part of their plan that attracted me the most. That was the part of their plan that actually made me decide to make the video for them.
Because
nobody else is helping the indie creators reach out to the small comic shops.
No, and
Simon certainly isn't doing it.
Oh yeah. Please.
If you want to break the bank to print just enough to get into to get into a corner of the back of one of their preview pages.
A 2-inch blurb on the corner of a 500-page catalog.
Yes, exactly.
Then yeah, absolutely.
Well, you might get a little more now. I understand since DC vacated, they've got plenty of room in the catalog.
Yeah, they have a little bit more room.
Oh yeah, now they do.
A little more leg room.
But who can tell? There's like a dozen X-Men titles for Marvel, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is why the new storyline is a 22-part crossover.
Right. Disney does as Disney is as Disney does. They make money. Yeah. They see something's popular and wow, somebody bought that. Let's make 10,000 more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Duplicate.
That's what they do.
Duplicate.
It's flood the market until it dries up and nobody's buying that anymore, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, happy 1997 for the comics industry again.
Yeah, well, that's why Disney bought Marvel and why AT&T bought DC.
Yeah.
They bought it because this is the generation of comic book TV and movies.
Yep.
So they're like, I'm gonna buy this company. Okay, I'm buying this company. And then you see
it basically divvied up an industry.
Yeah,
and then tank it.
And then tank it. Yeah, well, I don't want to get into all my. Yeah, I'm going to get into it. Look, I'm fucking old. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm not a boomer, even though I co-host a podcast called OK Boomer. And all we do is talk about old back issues, okay? But
I'm okay with that, man.
I don't. Let's just bring up the devil of the movement, Ethan Skyver.
Oh God,
dude, why would we even give his name fucking room here?
Look, I still have my original Cyber Frogs.
Okay, great. I have those Green Lanterns too, but and I love them.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean I have to give this guy voice.
No. I'm just going by the BS line that he says before he starts all this other crap.
Okay.
We just want to make good comics. Boom.
That's what we all say.
Yeah,
no one goes into this saying like, oh man, I really hope I can make a crap comic. I know what you're getting at.
These pages have got to be bad today. I can't do my best.
Yes, that's right. This is the one I tank.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do know what you're saying though.
Through the floor.
I think I know. The point you're making is
Aaron wouldn't give me the entire script for this issue. So I'm going to fuck these pages up royally.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe. And I would, he would send them back, and I'd still be like, he'd send it back, and I'd still be like, man, these are good pages.
Well, you know, there have been plenty of times where I have sent Aaron pages, and he's like, wow, this is great. I love it. You know, this is good. Approved. And I take a day and I look at it and I come back to him saying, Aaron, I don't like it. I got to do it again. And he's like, whatever, dude, just, you know, be happy with it. So, yeah, I mean, I edit myself more often than anybody else.
And I appreciate it.
My big thing is Marvel seems to have backed off a little, not much, but a little bit off that woke social justice crap. But DC is like, we're all in.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was a market, the new Warriors thing, huh?
Yeah,
because the new iteration of the new Warriors is, well, do they literally have a character named Social Justice Warrior? I mean, I think they might.
I feel like they would.
They've done some crazy things with this team.
They're all pink and yellow, and
yeah. So what they're doing is they're doing the thing they keep trying to do.
You know, white males and.
Well, yeah, but aside from that, the problem that they keep running into is they're trying to do this direct marketing to a market that doesn't support them. Those aren't the people that are coming out and buying those books. No matter what face you put on it or name you put on it, like that, you're trying to create a new market in something that's still people. Look at who buys comics. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't try to market them to people that are 19, 20 years old right now, because they're not purchasing comics. Nope. Anyone that's ever run a Kickstarter, go to your analytics and look what age groups and what's the demographics for people that are purchasing your stuff on comics. And I guarantee you it's
25 to 45.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. That's
I've seen that exact number from Kickstarter before. Yeah. That's all the audience is.
Oh, I've broken the analytics. I'm 50.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. You're rocking the boat. It's just a matter of they're not doing their marketing. They're doing it wrong. They just think they can capture a younger crowd.
Marvel is doing the same thing that they've been doing since the 60s and 70s, and that's marketing comic books to a younger age group. They're marketing comic books to young boys between 9 and 15. That's wrong now. But
now they're trying to do it with specific messages. And I'm not even talking, I don't want to get into the messages or what people feel about them. It's just, you can't direct market to a young group right now. It's just stupid.
You can't direct market to a group that's not looking at you.
Exactly.
Yeah. What it is, and you see it with all this cancel culture BS. All the kids that were doing this like 10 years ago in college have now graduated and gotten jobs at these companies. So they basically go on Twitter and swarm them and, cause these companies, bad reps because they wouldn't go woke. But I mean, DC has gone up and above that. Like, I tuned into their first thing, which was them filling the void for San Diego Comic-Con and doing like all their video stuff, the fandom crap.
Oh, and I remember that. Yeah,
they did 2 of them now. The first one had nothing to do with comics.
I can't get over the level of technical issues that they had trying to do all that stuff. Like, there's just large gaps of just a black screen and people's voices going like, "What button do I hit?" It was awesome.
But the second one was going more on comics, and I go, they already lost me with the first one. And then somebody released a portion of video with Jim Lee and the higher-ups talking about Wonder Woman, the comic. And they released this, and it went viral at one point, although I'm sure all the blue check marks had it taken down. They came up with this idea that they wanted to, go all, because Wonder Woman is a feminist hero, so they were going to go all feminist and all woke and blah, blah, blah. We're going to honor the Wonder Woman of history. And I'm like,
no.
all
Linda
right.
Carter?
That's what they wanted to do?
Oh, Linda Carter is like super liberal.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, I know.
So
Yes, she is.
this is what they announced. We're going to honor the Wonder Woman of history. And I'm waiting. I'm like, I'm figuring I'm going to hear like Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Betsy Ross, anything, in between. Nope. AOC, Elizabeth Warren.
So the new gen.
And I'm like,
What's the
Wait a
historical?
second. How is AOC anything to do with history?
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
yeah, love her. She's awesome, but she's not a part of history. Not yet. Give her 20 years. Maybe she'll make some history.
That's
But
right, man.
she's
well,
brand
it's
new.
Is history a new
It's like me
cocktail?
taking an egg out and saying like this is historic. No, it's brand new.
And I'm like, as a lifelong masshole, most of us have been trying to get Elizabeth Warren, or AKA Pocahontas, out of office and out of state,
Oh, God.
since the first year I could vote. So, that was driving me nuts, which drove me back to dropping all but like 4 modern mainstream titles and anything else.
See, I only have about 1 or 2 mainstream titles, and that's just because the other ones are just not good writing. It's not even, for me, it's not even so much the message, it's the creative teams behind them have just really gone down the drain on a lot of these books, and it's unfortunate, but it's why you see such a good uprising in the indie comics culture. Is
It is.
This is where everybody is, and when they keep laying people off, all those people are going to end up coming into indie comics too. So,
Well, look, Mike Barron has been working indie now for how many years?
like 20 or something. It's
Well,
been a minute. Yeah, we had him. He can write.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, dude can write.
I still got to buy one of his Nexus novels because his wife wants the kitchen table back.
Yeah, no, God knows he posts about it all the time.
But I mean, he's still got Florida Man going, which is freaking hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And he's got his like sci-fi Vikings in space
Right.
one going, and he's got another one starting. He never stops. He stopped writing for like 10 years and he hasn't stopped since.
Yeah, he came back hard.
And he's got a Badger novel coming out next year.
I like Badger. Badger's fun.
I know what it's like to go full tilt, to have multiple projects going on, at the same time. So that when one dropped from your workload, but that's only one book that's out there. So now you need 2, now you need 3, so you have to keep working. I've been doing the indie community for over a decade now, and that was one of the first things that I learned was to carry multiple titles at a time so I could do this for a living.
Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, what Joe's saying is you're not keeping him busy enough.
I wish I could. But
no, I don't think any one company could keep me busy enough. This is why I love being freelance so much, that I'm not tied to one house. I have ideas coming from so many different directions that it's a godsend. I love the fact that I'm able to work with writers like Sam Bruce and Adrian Grayson and their imprints. I've been doing indie comics for about 6 or 7 different companies for the better part of 13, 14 years now.
Well, congratulations. So, I wish I could draw.
Me too.
I can't even draw a stick man with a stencil.
Said every comic book writer ever.
That's right.
I was writing.
You know what? I don't do the writing. And I can't write. I know my limits. I look for the good scripts. I look for the talented writers, people who I get to work with, and bring their words to fruition, putting them on the page as a paneled comic book page.
I keep trying to tell people too that Joe's doing something right, because he's at the point now where he gets to pick what projects he works on or what he cares enough to put into. He doesn't have to just take whatever comes down the pipeline. That is something. It
started that way. It did start that way.
Of course. But you've graduated to that level that you can choose now, and I think a lot of artists probably need to put that into their mindset. Is pick the projects that you like, as long as you keep building that community, and you're not the ultra reclusive artist, which most artists are.
Right.
Pretty reclusive, and that's fine. But at least talk to the people that are hiring you.
Well, you kind of have to.
Once in a while at least.
Yeah, just give an update. Right. Good God, people. And I say this as someone.
By the way, is Scott Hanna's working model too.
I mean, so we talk about it a lot because Matt and I have had those experiences with creators that we'll hire, and then you just never hear from them. And then even when you do, it's like, I did a page. It was like, that's cool. I gave you that script like a year and a half ago. It's awesome. You got a page done. It's like, dude, we've already moved on and hired somebody else. We forgot you existed.
We forgot we paid you.
That's right.
Yeah. Can we get that money back now?
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
How soon can you PayPal that to me? Because I needed to pay this guy to do a special cover for us now.
That's right.
So Fire by Night.
Yeah. So this one just added yesterday as well. That's a new add-on. I was going to see if anybody cared enough to want a physical copy, which I, of course, will eventually be getting. I just need to actually order them. But this is set in the Catalyst Comics universe. It's just set back in the 1113, around that time period, whenever King Henry I was king. And it's set in his kind of domain where this kid we meet, he displays powers and goes a little absurd and loses his family. And then he grows up. We get to see a little bit of a time jump, and he's starting to realize that there is a lot more to his father's death than what he thought. And so he starts trying to figure out if it was the king or who it was that had his father killed. He meets someone on the battlefield. So there's a lot of like medieval battles, but his power is basically Firestorm, or like, any of those characters, that Pyro characters. So he gets to play off of that. And the more I wrote it, the more I was like, God, man, I would like to see this as an actual comic book. But it let me play a little bit in the almost the X-Men world, because the character he meets has the opposite, where he's more like the Iceman character. It's so they get to play off of each other. So it lets me play in that world, but back in the medieval times, and put my own twist on it. And then it was one of those ones that I got to the end of, and I was like, I'm going to end this in a completely different way. So I added a whole other chapter at the end. But this one is a little bit over 12,500 words. So it's a little bit longer. It's a little novelette.
That's cool, though. Just because it would be nice to see a little bit down the road where Fire by Night comes full circle somehow through the ages to another book in the Tilt universe.
I don't know. Maybe someone's smart enough to have thought about that before and put it on an agenda for for years from now.
Smarter than me.
No, I'm saying that's on our agenda for like years from now.
That's why I laughed, because I knew that it was on there.
Yeah, it's on there somewhere.
So I got to I tell this story every episode. The pledge without reward, $10.
Oh yeah, I've never even looked at that.
About 6 months ago, just before Graham Nolan was launching his his Shanu book, well, the Kickstarter for it. I was talking to him, and somehow he changed this pledge without a reward to buy Graham a beer, $10.
Nice.
Oh, I bet you could do a little HTML magic on there. That's smart, man. Didn't it used to be $1?
There's some that were, yeah.
I don't even know. I've never even realized it because when I go back, like other people's projects, I always just hit the button at the bottom on my phone, and I don't remember that even coming up.
But it was on there, and it was hilarious because by the end, because he ran full Kickstarter, then he ran full Indiegogo.
Oh wow!
And I don't know what happened with Indie, but I think he had like over 200 people buy him beers.
Heck yeah, it's a lot of beer.
That's excellent. I love that story.
I'm like, I just want to make a Kickstarter just to have people buy me beer.
That sounds more like a GoFundMe.
No, they take too much out.
That's true. They do.
So $3 or more is ready or not. Snag a digital copy of Tilt 3.
Mm-hmm.
$8 gets you all 3 issues of Tilt.
Hey, that right there, that's for all of our international friends, because we're not doing international shipping right now because it tried to murder us on the last Kickstarter campaign.
And even worse than like, straight up across the pond international is going to Canada.
Yeah. I think we had one last time. I know we had a couple in the UK, and that was it just hurts your heart, man. You're just like, man, I'm just sending a book. What do you mean $25 for shipping?
25
to the Philippines.
Oh, yeah. Philippines, yeah.
And it's about to be worse because on the 18th they're jacking all the postal rates.
Yep. Thanks for bringing that up. Wouldn't want to let me forget about that for about an hour and a half.
Well, I let you forget about it for an hour. We've been at it for an hour or so.
Sure do appreciate that.
I was thinking of saying, oh, so you're going to get these books out before they jack up the rates?
Sure ain't.
Nope. $10 or more, you can't hide a physical copy of cover A and PDFs of all 3. Well,
also a good deal.
That is a humongous deal. You get a physical copy and you get PDFs to get caught up on all of them.
Yep.
Yeah. You get the whole Catalyst Comics universe so far, except for the short story.
Pledge $12 or more going to find you Tilt 3 physical copy cover A, Peregrine number 1, Tilt 1, 2, and 3, and Welcome to Everville PDFs.
Yep, it's all our comics so far.
Which is awesome. $20 pledge. Now that I escape. Cover A, cover B, PDFs of everything.
Yep.
So you get both physical copies of A and B?
Yep.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Sleepwalker a week. Tilt 1, 2, 3, Peregrine 1, Silhouette SS Physical.
Yep. So that's everything in the Catalyst Comics universe, physical copies. And then you'll also get them digital, plus Welcome to Everville digital as well. And that is with free shipping as well. So.
Then you have 2 different retailers.
Yeah, there's a few on there. They're filtered in there somewhere.
Let's see.
Who named these tiers?
Matt and I did.
Okay.
It's a song.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the Fugees.
Okay. That's
Ready or
why.
not, here I come.
God.
You can't hide.
Right.
Gonna find you. Take it slowly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was thinking to myself, why do these titles sound so familiar?
Yeah,
And
man.
I didn't put it together.
something was clippity-clopping in the back of my head, but
This is stuff
Your
Matt and I
song
do when we're
lyrics.
bored. Like all of our
it's late and I'm out of coffee.
Matt had the good idea for all of our updates. I don't know if you get to see those, Joe, but so now every update we post is like really lame fall sayings. So like the title is like we had the "It's Fall, Y'all," and then "Pumpkin Kisses" and "Harvest Wishes," and then today's funding one was "Cutest Apple in the Orchard."
Oh my!
That's cute.
That's
That's
what
cute.
keeps us going, man.
You gotta
We've got to keep
entertain
ourselves
yourself.
entertained.
You gotta entertain yourselves while you're spending hours on end writing up this stuff for
Exactly.
Kickstarters.
And just watching your Kickstarter page like it's stocks.
Yeah, you're like.
That's how it was the last week. It was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you add on a third monitor on top of your other two monitors, and all it's doing is watching there. It's like when you go to your grandparents' house, and they've got that one 12-inch black and white TV on the floor in the corner that is on all the time, watching the camera on the front door of their apartment building.
That's right.
Those who could relate. Tilt number 3, your choice of cover A or B. A T-shirt, trading card. I take it that's the set of trading cards.
Nope, that one's just the one solitary, like his main like T-shirt jeans one from issue 1.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then everything in PDF.
Yep.
United States only.
And the mini print. Yeah, everything on this is U.S. only. We just can't do it this time, guys.
Oh, yeah.
But if you are international, then get the PDFs because that shows support and you can still read the story. And then when we do the trade, you can get the full collected trade. Just saying, no excuses, international backers.
You can get that full trade with possibly a Magic Mike cover.
Oh, maybe an embossed Magic Mike cover.
Nice.
Oh, my.
That's right.
No, the world ain't cake.
Yeah.
Good, because I like pie. Tilt 3, cover A, cover B, T-shirt, trading card 3-pack, Tilt enamel pin, Tilt mini print, Catalyst Comic Studios wristband.
And then they'll get the PDFs too. I just didn't put it on there. At that point, come on, you're getting the PDFs.
Yeah, you're getting the thing. Large retailer pack is 50 copies. Wow.
Yep.
For $100.
It's $2 a copy, y'all.
That's pretty cheap.
And at
I
50
know, right?
copies, they'll sell out.
Yep. Our store in South Carolina that always orders variants sell out like within the first week.
I don't know any store names, but we've got a fan, Pat, that's down in New Orleans, and he said he worded it in some Southern way, but I get the gist of it that indie comics do really well down in New Orleans.
Huh.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I have friends there. There's a shop in New Orleans that has 3 books from a title that I did a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if they're still carrying them or if they sold out or what, but I know that they were for sale then. And the person who put them there, Anthony Dortch from 305 AM Collaborations, we did Pure together. That's the title of his book. And he told me that there was a lot of interest in New Orleans for independent content.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
The guy that owns my my LCS, he started out as the manager, and then when the original owner was like, "Yeah, I'm done in comics, so you can either buy the store from me, or I'm just going to shut it down and throw everything out." So he bought the store. So he, going back to Mike Barron for a second, he actually wrote a fan letter and did some fan art for Badger, and it actually appeared in the back of issue 8 of Badger.
Nice.
Going forward, his older brother, and they're all like singing musicians, songwriters, and they all play in bands and everything. And one of his older brothers, the middle brother, moved down to New Orleans, just outside of the city, with his girlfriend, and he went from hustling, playing bands, to just doing artwork, like on the street, like one of the street oil paint guys, and started making good money doing that down there. So it's like a big community down there. It's crazy.
Mm.
Well, New Orleans has always been known for its art culture.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Well, to me, it was only known for drunken, disorderly beads and boobs, but
everybody has
art?
their reasons.
Yeah, that's
for
art.
going.
Yeah,
that's art.
Oh, some of them are art. Others, things to go back to art school on. But anyhow, the Joe mission, 120 or more.
Oh.
Single character commission from Joe.
That's you, Joe.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Tilt 3 physical covers A and B. The T-shirt, the pin, the mini print, trading card 3-pack, the wristband, all the PDFs.
It's basically everything plus a piece of original artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
awesome.
It's almost like a little tiny raise for Joe because he gets a cutoff.
Aw.
And on this one, it says there's no backers.
I know, right? Well, yeah, because somebody did it and then they changed it.
Oh.
They did something real smart, actually. It was the guy that was that brought us over the top. That's the one he had, and then he upped it to the next one, the 150. So since he knew he was going to get a commission from Joe, he decided, let me get a commission and get drawn into the next issue.
So he pushed it over and he traded up.
Yeah, he traded up.
So this is the big 150 plus pledge, the full tilt that gets you everything plus drawn into next issue.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
And there's room for 3 more people to get their ass whooped in next issue.
Oh, they gonna get wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
I can dare say, I was thinking back on it today. Actually, I was thinking back through the script, and the fight scenes for those 6 people, they're good fight scenes. So people will be in more than one panel,
and it's not going to end well for them.
No, it is not.
And I already know that I do this well, because all right, I'm gonna drop a spoiler, and this is a spoiler for Aaron too. A couple of the people that Tilt's already beaten up are people I know, friends of mine. I put them in the book without telling anybody. And one of them, my neighbor, he was very surprised to see himself when I handed him a copy of number 2.
Love it.
So this is absolutely going to work out well. All these people who have an interest of getting their nose broken by Tilt, I can do that for you.
Joe, I know you can't see the comments because your screen's tiny, but Brittany said hello. Well, she said, hey guys. Brittany. Who is Brittany?
She's a friend of mine. We've known each other for years.
Okay, because I always see that you're the only mutual friend. And so Matt and I are over here like, who is this?
Somebody who's interested in Tilt. That's all we need to know.
That's all I care to hear.
Yeah, I showed her a copy and she loved it.
Thank you, Brittany.
And then you have this big $200 store exclusive variant retailer pack.
Yep.
Right.
Where they get exclusive covers, 100 copies, $200.
That's right. It's a good deal, man. For a store exclusive.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galactic Comics. has gotten three
is
variant covers so far.
Freaking cheap.
Yeah.
It's freaking cheap.
So Galactic Comics in South Carolina, they did that one even this time, but they always just go through us directly and just use PayPal, so it doesn't get to show up on there.
But that's cheap as hell, though.
Yeah. So if you know stores that like store variants, then well, you know what, Brittany, I'm not sorry. You got to read the next one.
You're welcome, but the ending pissed me off.
That's how I do.
Oh, it's one of those cliffhangers.
Oh yeah. I can't help it.
Well, you're gonna do it because now she definitely has to, be all in on the next issue too.
And I'll tell you, if that ending made her mad, then the ending for issue 3 it's going to hurt people's heart.
Wow, you're a terrible human being, huh?
I just like
he's just constantly disappointing all of us.
That's right.
I don't know what to do with him anymore.
I just like when people think they know what's going on, and then you just do that little, you put a little something on it.
You think you know what's going on until and then I 2020 the book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun for me to write like that.
It's like I put up a post the other day, and because most of my posts are either comic book related, like the podcast and everything, or just jokes that will usually piss people off that are too sensitive about everything.
Another way to say that is to find their own audience. Jokes that will find their own audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Like, I love the COVID because it stays crunchy in milk. As the kids call it, I might have triggered a few people, but Brittany, I definitely will be reading the next issue. Don't break my heart, LOL. Suspense is one of the greatest ways to write. Keep the reader engaged and not wanting to put it down. You guys do great work, and Joe is a phenomenal artist. I'm glad he turned me on to this.
Just going to print that and post it on my mirror.
They're going to copy and paste that. That's going to go right on the back of the trade for one of the reviews.
Yeah, I guess we should use some of those. We've had some pretty good reviews on Tilt, man. I use them for our advertisements.
Yeah, you put a couple quotes on there, and
got to. One that doesn't make sense. You always got to have one that's just like, that doesn't even have anything to do with this book.
I still think about that review every time I'm drawing walls. This one reviewer, his only critique of my art was to say that I didn't put enough frames on the walls, that I didn't fill the walls up in the background. So now every time he would hate my loft, huh? What's that?
You would hate my loft, huh?
I guess. I don't know.
He wouldn't even think your loft is real. There's nothing on his walls. This guy wouldn't even think your loft is real.
It's green screen.
Yeah.
He'd be like, Joe designed this, didn't he?
Could have been one. Could have been one of the best reviews we've ever had.
Oh God,
it was so good. I remember listening to it, and I was like, I can't wait to text Joe this.
So, how close are you guys to unlocking the tattoo and then the dog tags?
Oh yeah. So first off, we're only $7 away from 1,600. So that just needs to get taken care of.
Oh, really? It's moved. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've been looking at it today, but yeah. So 2,000
I looked at it earlier.
1593. Maybe I should refresh.
Nope, still the same thing.
Don't worry, they're coming.
So about 407 away from the temporary tattoo. Then another 500 for the custom dog tags. So the reason that I put it at these price ranges is because first off, they're called stretch goals, not giveaways. Mm-hmm. So people got to put a little something into it to actually get us there. So I put it at that particular range because Tilt, as I said earlier, superhero books are difficult on Kickstarter as it is. So just funding is exciting for me. But getting to the point of 2,000, we did 2,300 on Tilt 2's Kickstarter. And that was a struggle bus the whole way through. We funded with 3 days left. And that was a $2,000 goal. So already much better position. We still have 15 days left. So I think we can possibly top that, and I would love to. I would love to see about 2,500. And then I put 65 for the backer goal, where everybody gets. I don't even think I put it on the campaign page. Nope, sure didn't. Anyway, so the 65 backer goal. Once we hit 65 backers, everybody gets a bunch of the just wallpapers for their computers and phones. Their Tilt, Cindy, Exquisite. There's pretty much one of every character. And they can put it on whatever they want. Just free digital downloads, high res. And the reason I did 65 is because Tilt 2's Kickstarter was 64. So just one more, and I'll be happy. Also, like I said, this campaign's a little bit different because we just got another backer. So over 1,600 now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We've been talking about
man. Well.
Now I got to read the damn book.
I know. Well, welcome aboard. So I forgot what I was saying now.
I got too excited. I have a tattoo.
Yeah. There you go, man. Everybody needs a Tilt tattoo. I'm hoping people will send us pictures when they use them, because I would just love to have a reel of people just with Tilt bicep tattoos and stuff. I know I can count on Joe for one.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Tell Matt to send me the design. I'll do some mock-ups of Sprocket, Tilt, other characters from the book, all wearing the design.
Yeah, I almost did that for the announcement earlier, and then I was like, I'm not going to put that much work into it. But yeah, I mean, we're in a great position. I see no reason why we don't hit at least those first couple of stretch goals. It's just going to take a little bit of work. That's what I was saying. That's one of the other big things that's different about this campaign is having 45 backers right now and only one of them being like $1 pledge. That's great for me. Usually you just get a whole rush of dollar pledges when you launch, and we haven't really had that. So I'm okay with it.
Well, I just gave you the $11 pledge so I could get the digitals, and I added on the old school stuff because I'm a sucker for Dark Ages stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. I had to let my mother read it, of course, because she's my mama, and she sent me a message, and she was like, "Aaron, you can't just end this storyline for a short story." She was like, you could do this. You could go here, because she comes from a writing background as well. You could go here and here. I said, no. That's the joy of writing a short story, is it ends. You don't write a short story series. That would be a novel. That's what I like about writing those short stories is I get to just use a certain amount of words to tell my little tale, and where it ends. And then the goal for that, I'm working on the next one, which is it's called A Bullet for the Road, and it's also in the superhero universe, and it's a Western, so it's in the end of the 1700s. Cool. And that one focuses around two twin brothers that have, like I said, I like to play on the X-Men stuff for this stuff. But they can control things like kinetic energy wise. So a lot of gun bullet play with them. And my goal is to do 4 of these, and then put them all together into one collected edition that people can grab.
Oh, cool. Brittany, I would donate if I could. However, I will try to be supportive of what you were all doing in other ways.
Brittany, we get it.
It's not like she's not going to read the book.
Yeah,
it's not like she's not going to read the book, yeah.
Yeah, Joe's going to throw it at you.
Oh, I'll make sure she gets a copy.
Yeah.
You know, not just that, but she can, you know, go and post on all kinds of pages about how great it is.
She can make Brittany, your only goal right now is to make other people feel weird about not backing Tilt. You know, you got your copy on lock, but there's other people out there that don't have their copy on lock.
And don't we feel sorry for them? They
We
all
do,
need
man.
to get their copy.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? The Kickstarter is right in the chat. It's also in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us, whether Facebook or YouTube. Yeah. And if you don't buy this book, Brittany is going to track you down and make you feel guilt for the rest of your life.
Oh, I thought he was going to go with pain. That's a lot more intimidating.
Because that's a superpower that all women have.
Oh, we use it. We have a social media manager. Her name is Kat, and we like to, when we do things like this, we let her claws out. So yesterday on her Instagram stories, I gave her this idea, and I didn't know how far she was going to go with it, and she was wrecking people. But basically, she posed the question on her Instagram stories of what is your favorite superhero? And I was like, it'd be funny if people answered, and you always flip it back to Tilt somehow. And she did that with like 20 to 30 people. Just every time they'd be like, they'd say something like Deadpool. Oh, well, if you like Deadpool and Fourth Wall Breaking, then you'd love Tilt. And just like 30 different people would say different stuff, and she would just nail them with just Tilt. It was funny, man. But she had a lot of influence on getting us over that goal yesterday.
Brittany wants a signed copy.
Yep, mark that, Joe.
Oh, she'll get it.
And she said everyone needs to read it and get hooked just as quickly as she did.
And then really, it happens in the first issue. You know, I've handed the first issue to a number of different people, and the overwhelming majority of them are into comic books already, you know, and these are associates of mine. But there were some of them that are not in the community. You know, Brittany's one of them. And with reading issue 1, every single one of them have been hooked and wanted to know what was going to happen next. So really, I mean, Tilt is one of those titles that just reading the first issue makes you want to read the next issue, and that makes you want to read the next issue. And it's going to go on like that from here.
And it's not just because of the beefcake, but that's the funny part.
No, it's not just the beefcake. I draw a kick-ass body, but...
Well, you know, Matt will message me and he'll be like, you know, just make sure you don't go too far with like you're advertising it and stuff. And I'm over here thinking like, you know, what'd be funny is in the trade if we had one of those like pull out posters and it's just like a huge poster of shirtless Tilt.
A fold out centerfold, you mean?
Exactly. It would be hilarious to me.
And the highest contributor gets an embossed poster.
3D cutout.
Hey, I don't mind pandering to our audience. I really don't.
Also, it's just funny.
Yeah. Makes me giggle.
It is, because it's just, you know.
I mean, the dude's jacked. He's what all of us wish we looked like.
Pretty much, yeah. Every time I draw Tilt, I try to draw human perfection.
That's right. Even the salt and pepper, man. He's smooth. Smooth yes, with a V.
Smooth. Smooth. The only way you can do it.
That's right. Awesome. I feel good about this.
Yeah, that's perfect. So,
yep.
So one of the stretch goals has been unlocked?
Not yet. We got to get to 2,000.
Oh, I thought you said it was only...
No, I was saying we were only $7 away from 1,600.
Oh, you messed with me.
There's
That's
time.
Okay. I'm going to read it anyhow. I don't care what you say.
It's okay.
I've noticed by watching the campaigns is that, you know, there's time. You know, this comes in waves. You may get 1 or 2, you know, backers today, but tomorrow you'll get 10. You know, it'll happen. Absolutely.
Just depends on if the wind's blowing the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
The only question really was, you know, would Tilt back in the first day? You know, that was my question.
Hey, we got freaking close.
It did for the original goal.
Yeah, it did for the original goal. That's right. Just had to listen to somebody else that was like, no, you don't want to go that low. Thanks a lot.
But usually you get like a big hit at the beginning, and then like it trickles down, and you hit like a dead spot, and then like the last week or so, it boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, those last couple of days are usually just crazy.
You get a lot of people that have saved it to get the reminder.
Yep.
When it's getting close to the end,
we have
maybe they didn't have the money at the time, and they wanted to see, some people just want to see if the project's actually going to get funded before they commit to doing anything.
I know a lot of people like that.
Worst way to look at stuff.
I know.
Like, dude, you are what's helping fund it. That's what crowdfunding means.
Yeah. It's like, if for some reason a project you get behind doesn't fund, you know what happens? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we hit that dead spot but we've done enough now that we just know so much is about that first day momentum, because your next day is usually going to be, really within the first like 5 days, you're going to hit that little spot that's like, oh man, what are we doing with our lives? But starting yesterday, and then and sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by Brittany's comment.
She's trying to give you money, man.
I know, man. I got lost for a second.
Sure, I got $7. Is the donation link on your page?
It should be in this chat if you scroll up.
Yeah, it's right above you in the chat, Brittany.
Yeah. Anyway, so yesterday and today we've had 10 backers, which is it's a decent chunk when you only have 45 backers right now. Mm-hmm. And that's what got us over that funding goal. I can't even remember what we were at the beginning of yesterday morning. I want to say it was 12 something. So yesterday was a huge bump. It was a good day. Things slow down. So we just wait on the wind to change directions. Doing shows helps. Also helps us mentally, I think. So
it helps me certainly to continue talking about it. Most books that I do are, I don't know, beneficial enough to get a number 2. There's long periods of time between issues, and it's hard to hold on to that passion for the story. And fortunately for me, at least, Tilt 1, 2, and 3 coming out in successive turns like that, I really haven't lost my passion for this title at all. If anything, it's only grown. The fact that Tilt 1 came out and there was a cry for issue 2. Aaron and Matt were both telling me that, like everyone who read issue 1 was like, when's issue 2 coming out? And my advice to them was strike while the iron's hot. If you have interest in number 2, put out number 2, like immediately. And they did.
Yeah.
And they did, which surprised me a great deal, because I give a lot of people this advice and not many people follow it. They wait, they hem and they haw, and they try to make everything perfect. But you know what? It's a tenet that I try to run my career by is finished, not perfect. I don't care if it's perfect. I want to make it as good as it can be, but finished is more important. Producing is more important than having every perfect brick in the wall, than having the right number of frames on a wall, or every background being perfect. No, that's not as important as being finished.
Especially like for being as new as Matt and myself both are, it lets people see that growth as well. It lets us see how we progress as creators. I mean, Joe, you've seen Paradigm and you've seen Welcome to Everville. For Matt, what a difference between 2 books.
It's a huge jump. It's a huge jump for Matt. It may sound a bit, I don't know, condescending. I hope not, but I was really proud of Matt when I saw that book. I read Paradigm first. I read Paradigm before I even started on Tilt. And what he did on Everville was amazing. Amazing in comparison. He grew by leaps and bounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not condescending. Patting him on the head and asking him if he wants milk and cookies, that would be condescending.
Okay, all right. I was worried that it would come across condescending because I have more experience than him, and I've encouraged him to keep pushing and keep challenging himself. But it's really amazing the leaps that he made.
I think that's one of the flips in the mindset of what we do at Catalyst, as well as Matt and I got into it just doing the first thing, Paradigm. His first script I ever wrote and first thing he ever drew. So we came into it with the mindset of we just want to complete a project, which is already about 95% better than anyone we've talked to, because most of them just don't. They just say they're going to make something and they never do. So that is what launched everything. And after that momentum from the first book is when we got with Joe. And even now people will notice that Matt and I are willing to work with fresh faces and new people a lot more willingly than most other publishers. We have Kat, who came on as our social media manager, but then we hired her to do a fantasy book. She has a strong art background, went to school for it, but this will be the first comic she's done. And so she's struggled with it because it's something new and there's still things she has to learn. But we get to see that growth too. And I think it's going to be a great book because she has a great style and it's going to be good for fantasy. But we made this rule of thumb early on, and it's basically we don't want a new colorist and a new artist on every series. So we want at least one of them to have experience. So for Tilt, Joe was the experience, and Ramon, Tilt #1 was his first book. And you could see Ramon's colors, and
knocked it out of the park.
Book one. Yeah, we said from book one, like, this dude's going to be picked up by one of the bigger companies if he chooses to. And he's gotten work since then, and that makes us happy. I mean, we're proud of him. And the same thing with anyone that we work with. If they're new, we're willing to work with them. We'll try to have someone more experienced on the book with them, because that helps all of us cover each other's weaknesses mostly.
Sure, yeah.
And it helps keep fresh ideas flowing too.
Exactly. Yeah. We have a writer for Silhouette Solo series that we actually met at a Comic-Con, and she sent me just a script of something. It was about 100 and some odd pages of a script that she was working on, and it's the first thing she's ever sat down and really put her mind into script wise. And I read it and immediately sent a message to Matt, and I was like, dude, her world building is amazing, and I would love to see what she can do with like one of our properties. So we hired her, but we're not even ready to get to that book yet. So we've just been working behind the scenes. But she's another fresh face that people are going to see something really cool come from. And then back when we kickstarted Paradigm, a girl that I went to high school with and really grew up with, I remember from like middle school, 6th grade, she backed and then messaged. She was like, that's always something I thought would be cool, is to write a comic book. She used to like draw a lot of manga and stuff like that when she was a kid. So, she was one of the nerds in high school, which I was as well. And so I was like, if you want to learn, I'll write something with you. Like, I have this one storyline that you might be into. And so her and I have been working on like the script for a graphic novel for about a year, because we're both doing it as a side thing. But that one is another one where it's like, dude, whenever we get to the point where this drops, it's going to be another face, another new person that people are going to be like, holy crap, they just came out of the gate swinging. But that's something we're big on at Catalyst, is seeing the creators we work with. Our mantra is do better, be better. And we tell ourselves that all the time. And I even have a shirt design with it. I just haven't put it out yet. But that's something we tell ourselves, and it's what we believe in everyone we work with too.
Oh, and Brittany gave a heart on the podcast.
Aw, we like hearts.
That's my first heart.
Aw.
Oh. So we got 15 days left to open up a bunch of stretch goals. I'll be looking forward to see what the dog tags look like.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, I have a suspicion,
hard.
But I'm not sure.
Joe, I'm sure you already can guess what it is. You've worked on the book.
I'm guessing what the dog tags are going to be, but yeah, if we hit that goal, oh my God, I'm going to need a set.
Oh, for sure, man. Oh, yeah, dude, like we have an even crazier thing if something crazy happens and we get through that third one and then we get to talk about that fourth one, because honestly, it's not on there, but the one we have in mind for the fourth one is something we'll probably end up doing someday anyway, but it would be fun to go ahead and do it when you get funded. I don't want to talk about it, but it'd be fun. It's a fun project.
Yeah, okay.
There's this fun thing I'm going to do.
That are full
I'm
of
not gonna
surprises.
tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and tell people they got to give money to get to the point
You
where we
just
can
got to
tell
let them
you.
know that something really cool is about to happen. So give me
I
all
will
your
say
money. And
it is something that I will say it's something that no other indie comic publisher in our little stratosphere currently is even remotely attempting to do.
cool.
That's what I will say.
So you need to get over to this Kickstarter, get all these books, because, if you thought 2020 was bad, 2021 is the year of Mad Max. What do you think's going to happen?
I'll tell you what is going to happen.
You need stuff to read while you're stuck.
And you can get drawn into Tilt 4 because that is 2021.
That's right.
First quarter of
And if we're-
2021.
Yep.
If we're basing 2021 off of Mad Max, then everybody get ready for some really bad fashion choices. Like I'm gonna have to start strapping skulls to my leather jacket and spikes everywhere, and
Just
I
to
don't
go
know
to
about all
work.
that. Yeah, exactly. It's a headache.
I forgot my skull for work.
Damn.
Bad choices? Oh,
Worst choices.
my whole life has been nothing but bad choices. So
So then why is 2021 going to be any different?
Right.
because I would have really liked to have Mad Max's car. That's all.
You still can. No one's
Yeah,
saying
that's
you
right.
can't.
I can't drive. I'm in a wheelchair.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, there's
But
that.
you still have the car though.
bad fashion choices, but is cool as hell. Look up in the corner where the SpinWiz logo is. I'm going to pop up a picture of my custom airbrushed leather jacket.
Oh snap! Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's just so you know, Joe. It's Joker.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
It's-
was looking for it, but I couldn't see
It's
it.
it's a montage of Joker images from Alex Ross.
Oh, I love Alex Ross.
Yeah,
So it's out of that big DC
Oh, I see it.
universe thing.
I see it. Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, I spent my teenage years painting the backs of denim jackets with album covers for years and years and years. I think that is cool. I like that a lot. That's on the back of a leather?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Speaking of album covers, a little nerdy news that I saw today in my feed was that Jim Ballant has been hired to do the art for an upcoming album cover.
Really?
Hmm.
What band?
Well, as happy as he was, he didn't announce the band, but as happy that the look of joy on his face when he announced this, there's a chance it could be a Kiss album.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Wow.
snap.
Because
That would be cool as hell.
he is a
That
humongous
would be
Kiss
cool as hell.
fan.
Nice.
Comic book artists doing album covers hasn't been really popular, but it's happened a few times. I remember when Todd McFarlane did the cover of Korn,
Oh yeah,
their album.
Yeah.
That was an amazing cover.
that made me buy Korn, and then I'm like, because that was when I was still all dinosaur rock, because the quote unquote alternative rock was new, and I'm like, and I'm like, they can't even spell corn right. What the? and then I go, oh my god, it's a comic book album cover.
Yes,
And
it is.
I bought it, and then the music store I was in had like 4 or 5 other Korn albums that were all like used CDs, all on sale for like $5 a piece. So I bought everything.
That's what happens, man.
And then, girls at the clubs got all mad because I made
kept playing corn.
I made everybody dance to a corn song for like 3 months.
Nah.
I can understand that.
And when they bitched too much, then I would play "Shut Up and Dance" from Aerosmith.
Oh God.
There was one girl that came from Boston that thought she was, king shit because she was from Boston, and then I had to. She goes, well, "I'm from Boston." I go, "Yeah, Southie bitch." And then I put on a loop of Ludacris. Who's a hoe? She didn't even get dressed. She grabbed her stuff in the outfit she was in and she stormed out the door, got in her little sports car and screwed.
Well, it's one way to end the night.
The night that was like at 8:30. I like pissing them off.
I've done a couple
early.
of album covers myself, mostly for, people within my sphere of influence, garage bands and stuff like that. People who have a dream, desire. Unfortunately, none that have been, signed to any label, but maybe someday.
Could happen.
Maybe. Yeah. Labels are weird market right now.
I'm mentioned on an album cover.
Are you really?
From my sphere of influence, friend's band. They've been broken up for years, but they released like a CD and cassette. Cassettes are things that we used to put and wind with a pencil. And
what's a CD?
A cross-dresser. No, a compact disc. Because one of them will fit in your computer and the other one won't. And so, of course, I had the CD. So I would, if one of them would swing by one of the clubs I was at, I would sneak in one of their songs. Or so I've still got it on a drive somewhere. But they mentioned me because I helped book so many gigs for them that I think I might have been their Yoko Ono.
Oh no!
Way too much time together, and boom! But it was a great time. Two of them are still friends.
Hey, friends matter, man.
They do.
All right.
But we want everybody to go over. Check out this Kickstarter.
Do
The
it.
Tilt campaign has something for everyone. The tiers are not only fairly priced, I think they're generous. Catalyst is giving away so much stuff for a minimum that they're collecting. Really, it's so much stuff for the money, and you're going to end up getting their entire catalog of books. Either in PDF format or in hard copy. Either way. Depends on how much you really love us at Catalyst, right?
That's right. And the more people that do it, the more free stuff you get with those stretch goals.
Mm-hmm.
And the more
That's
people
right.
that back, everybody can get some cool digi wallpapers. That high res.
So everybody hit that campaign. Make sure you back the campaign and get us up to a point where I can get those dog tags, because those are going to be really cool.
Yeah. And make people feel weird if they don't.
What do you mean you haven't backed Tilt yet? Oh my God, really?
What is wrong with you? Just give me your phone and I'll do it for you.
I'll do it for you. Wait a second. Just
What's your card number?
Well, now you sound like a stripper.
You got to do what you got to do, man. Kickstarter's difficult sometimes.
Well, if that's the case, we can expect.
Well, they bought that $200 package, so I figured it was worth
it. Right. You got to expect those big drops, because, I've never been in a strip club and just handed over dollar bills. I make it rain, baby.
That's right. So make it rain on us, y'all.
Absolutely.
Well, that's uncomfortable.
I'm going to be right in it. I'm comfortable as a mess.
I don't care if they're COVID dollars; they're still dollars.
That's right.
They're all dollars.
They'll still go into my bank account the same way. And you know what that means? That means we get to make Tilt 4 that much sooner.
The sooner the better.
That's right.
Honestly, I've already started.
Yeah, I know.
Because, now at the end of the month, I'm going to have 4 new books to read in my mail. So,
yeah, you will.
So I got to read them, and then I'm going to, hit you up and be like, dude, what the? Where's number 4?
Yeah, how are you going to end 3 like that, man?
Dude, finish this story now.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's time for me.
I'll be like, I'm going to buy Brittany a baseball bat and send her your way.
Yeah.
Where's number 4?
I'll direct her to Joe's house.
Can you sign
She'll
that,
find me
please?
easy.
That's right.
But we want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I had a blast.
Oh, our pleasure.
I got 4
appreciate
more
it.
books coming the end of the month, so
Yeah.
I am never at a loss for something good to read. So, and now I've got this, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to read the short story first because
I don't blame you, man.
I'm gonna read it in chronological order.
There you go. There you go.
So, hit up the Kickstarter. Check these guys out, guys. Where do you like to be followed on social media?
Yeah, so we're on everything. We got facebook.com/Catalyst Comic Studio, Instagram.com/Catalyst Comic Studio, Twitter.com/Catalyst Comics with an X because you can only fit so many characters. And then there's Facebook.com/Beards and Comics Podcast. And we have a Discord too. If you guys just want to hang out in our Discord and talk about making comics and all that stuff, just look up Beards and Comics. And then our website, CatalystComicsStudio.com. And maybe, just maybe, by the end of the year, you'll see the Catalyst Comics Studio app. Just saying. Just saying.
As for me, if you want to follow me anywhere, do it on Facebook because I'm social media illiterate. I have no Twitter account. I have no Instagram. I have none of that. The only place I don't want you to follow me is into the store. So no stalking. But please, stop by my Facebook page.
Unless it's the comic store.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow me into the comic store. Absolutely. Follow me there. Definitely. But, it'd be awkward having them follow me around the grocery store.
Yeah.
Not if you made it awkward first.
Maybe. When you spin around on your heels, have you read this book?
Hey, don't think I haven't done that. I've absolutely done that.
I already know you've done that. Just from the conversation we've had tonight. So I want to thank you guys so much.
Down the street handing out comic books to people. Hey, have you read this? Have you read this?
He's like Santa Claus.
I am. When it comes to comic books, I am.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. The more people you got reading the book, the
exactly
bigger
that.
the audience you can reach.
Exactly that.
That's
I
right.
want everybody reading everything I've ever done. So, yes, I hand that out. If I have hard copies in my possession, I give them away.
Oh, good. I like hardcovers.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's about time for us.
Yep, we're gonna wrap this up. You guys can follow them, and the link for their website is right up in the show notes too. So make sure you check that out. The Kickstarter. Check out their website, and stalk Aaron everywhere because he likes it.
Everywhere. He is everywhere.
And thank you for backing Brittany right at the end.
Right under the wire.
That's right.
Good job. So until next time, go read a comic book. And back this project.
Yeah.